Deep in the jungle, hidden under decades of moss and vines, lies a forgotten camp. Locals refuse to go near it. Some say they still hear whispers at night. But when a group of explorers stumbled upon its remains, what they uncovered told a chilling story no one was prepared for. 3 hikers navigating an overgrown path in the heart of the Amazon weren't looking for legends. They were simply following an old map, curious about what used to be a military trail decades ago. But as the trees closed in around them, they realized they weren't alone. It started subtly. A flash of movement in the foliage, the snap of a twig. But then they saw it, a clearing choked by vines and weeds. In the center, partially buried in the tangled undergrowth, were wooden frames. They resembled the skeletal ribs of some enormous creature, yet held secrets from another time. One of them, Evan, noticed a strange symbol carved into a fallen post. At first he thought it was a trick of the light, but as he brushed away the clinging vines, the image revealed itself clearly. A spiral. It looked fresh. Excited, they began digging carefully, peeling back layers of vines and weeds. What they found was a collection of old crates, metal tools, their edges worn smooth by time and half-eaten by hungry soil, and a weathered leather journal tucked behind a log. Its cover was soft with age, but the pages inside surprisingly dry. The last entry was dated June 3, 1971. The neat cursive script spoke of a research team setting up camp, exploring the surrounding jungle. Nothing out of the ordinary yet, but there was something wrong. The final lines were scrawled in a different hand. "We've lost contact with the outside. Something is watching us from the ridge. The men hear it breathing. I hear it too." The journal ended abruptly. There was no goodbye note, no signature, just the unfinished sentence hanging in the air like a question mark. When darkness fell, they decided to camp just a few meters from the site. Later that night, Evan recorded strange sounds, whispers, barely audible. When they played the recording back the next morning, the voice repeated the same phrase over and over: "We never left." Back in the nearest village, the hikers showed photos and the journal to the locals. The older ones immediately fell silent. One elder, her face lined with years of sun and stories, finally spoke. That was Camp Echo, a research unit set up by outsiders. They stayed too long, disrespected the jungle. When they didn't leave, the forest made them part of it. The hikers pressed her for more. Why didn't they leave? What did she mean? But Anna only shook her head. Outsiders come, outsiders go. We have our ways here. You must respect the balance. She warned them never to go back. They did anyway. A week later, with a larger team, they returned to the clearing. But the path was gone. Vines had regrown. The area was eerily quiet, untouched. No sign of a camp or even footprints. Only the spiral remained, carved freshly into a nearby tree. What happened to Camp Echo? Did it truly vanish into the jungle, or was it claimed by something sinister? If you want to know more, you can read the journal for yourself. But don't make fun of the explorers. Some things are better left buried beneath the vines. It was a tale as old as time, a warning whispered through generations of villagers. Don't go near Camp Echo. But curiosity, like a weed, can grow between cracks in the strongest walls. So they went anyway. A research team from the University of X ventured into the uncharted depths of the Amazon in the 1960s. Their mission: uncover the secrets of the ancient rainforest. Little did they know they were about to unearth something far more unsettling than any natural phenomenon. Dr. Evelyn Reed, a renowned anthropologist, led the team. Her eyes, sharp as shards of ice, missed nothing. Beside her, Dr. James Clayton, his face creased with the lines of countless studies, held his machete at the ready. As they hacked away at the dense foliage, their guide, a wiry man named Koki, whose knowledge of the jungle was matched only by his wariness of the forest's heart. For weeks they documented flora and fauna, collected samples, feeling like pioneers in a primordial world. But the further in they went, the thicker the trees grew, the noisier the insects became. And then they heard it, a low, guttural sound like a giant's sigh. Koki stopped, his gaze fixed on the canopy above. "Camp Echo," he said. his voice barely a whisper. "You should not go there." But Dr. Reed, driven by the thrill of discovery, pressed on. Days blurred into weeks. The team pushed deeper into the emerald labyrinth until suddenly, through the thick foliage, they saw a clearing. In the center lay a camp, half swallowed by the relentless jungle, a testament to a forgotten presence. As they stepped into the clearing, a sense of dread washed over them. The very air seemed to vibrate with an unseen energy. Then they saw it, carved into the trunk of a towering tree, a spiral. It was a symbol they had seen before, a symbol that spoke of an ancient power. According to local legend, the spiral marked a place of immense power, a nexus of spiritual energy where the veil between worlds was thinnest. But legends are just stories, or are they? As they explored the camp, they found remnants of the research team, their equipment, their notes, and a chilling message carved into a tent pole. "Leave now, before it's too late." Dr. Ray, her face pale but determined, continued the search. Days turned into weeks. The team worked tirelessly, uncovering artifacts that defied explanation, strange tools made of unknown metals, remnants of rituals that seemed to predate human history, and a monolithic structure buried beneath the earth, pulsating with a strange energy. But as their discoveries mounted, so did the strange occurrences. Equipment malfunctioned. Unexplainable electromagnetic disturbances were recorded. And then there were the dreams. Dr. Clayton found himself pulled into a world of shifting sands and monolithic structures, guided by a presence that seemed both ancient and immensely powerful. Was it the forest testing them, or something more sinister? When they finally unearthed the monolithic structure, they found a doorway leading deep into the earth. Curiosity, that insatiable thirst for knowledge, drove them forward. But they were unprepared for what they found inside. Descending into the earth, the team came across a vast cavern illuminated by an otherworldly glow. In the center stood a massive crystal structure humming with power. But it wasn't the crystal that stole their breath. It was the carvings on the surrounding walls depicting scenes of a civilization unlike any they had ever seen. Were these the creators of the spiral? And if so, what had happened to them? Suddenly, the ground rumbled. Dust rained down as the crystal flared with light. Before they could react, the cavern began to collapse. Trapped, they watched as the entrance crumbled to dust. With supplies dwindling and hope fading, they huddled together in the flickering light of their lamps, sharing stories, confessions, fears. Would they escape the wrath of the forest, or would they become another forgotten chapter in Camp Echo's story? As the jungle pressed in, they knew one thing. They had awakened something ancient, something powerful, and it wasn't going to let them go without a fight. Their journey had taken them deep into the Amazon, into the very heart of Camp Echo. But as the jungle closed in around them, they realized they weren't alone. They heard whispers in the leaves, felt eyes watching from the shadows, and then they saw it, a fleeting glimpse of movement, just beyond the edge of their vision. Was it the spirit of the jungle, testing them, warning them? Or was something more sinister lurking in the shadows? Then the nightmares began. Vivid, terrifying dreams of ancient rituals and unseen presences, of whispers in the dark and faces that watched from the trees. As the line between dreams and reality blurred, they knew they had to leave. But the jungle had a way of keeping its secrets close. The path out seemed to shift, the landmarks all too familiar yet subtly different. Days turned into weeks. Hope turned to despair. They were lost. Finally, they stumbled out of the jungle, emaciated, their clothes torn, their minds shattered. They had survived, but at what cost? Some say they emerged forever changed, haunted by the whispers of the jungle. Others say they vanished into the emerald depths, becoming part of the forest's eternal embrace. One thing is certain, the jungle holds its secrets close, and Camp Echo is no exception. If you want to learn more about Camp Echo, there's only one thing to do. Venture into the uncharted depths of the Amazon. Explore the ruins of Camp Echo and uncover the truth for yourself. But be warned, the jungle is a patient guardian of its secrets. And once you step into its embrace, you may never leave the same. So ask yourself, are you brave enough to face the whispers in the dark? Are you prepared to confront the shadows that linger in the jungle's heart? Or will you turn back before the whispers become screams? If you dare to venture into the uncharted depths of the jungle, remember, you're not just seeking a story. You're stepping into a world where the line between reality and nightmare is razor thin, where the jungle itself seems to breathe and watch. Will you find the answers you seek or become another lost soul to the whispers of Camp Echo? If you enjoyed this chilling tale, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more heart-pounding adventures and spine-chilling mysteries. And tell us in the comments, would you dare to explore the ruins of Camp Echo? Or do the whispers in the jungle send shivers down your spine?